Thanks, Brandon!
Oh, goodness.
Yep, I've forgotten what my real face looks like.
No scars though.
He does.
I was bleeding. Which, just like you, makes me an anomaly, an aberration. Watch the switch. You're too young to be on steroids, but...
Business you have none. What's up?
No, we can start film. It's fine.
I love you. You said good job. You're doing great.
Thank you.
See, that's nice.
Absolutely.
You seem to wrestle in promotions that have that kind of atmosphere, though.
So I get booked once, and if I don't like the vibe backstage, if there's not like an encouraging vibe backstage of equality, or at least people who are interested in women's wrestling,
Okay.
I'm not hanging around.
Is there a lot of that?
Older promotions, yeah.
Really? That seems weird to me.
Or it's like it's more of a gimmick, or there's this old
I hate
school,
that. Oh my God.
or there's this old school mentality where it's like, hey, you know what, like women's wrestling, yeah, we might book you in the future. We don't really have like an intention of booking women right now. You can manage and you can like do that sort of mentality, like, you know, just kind of hang out, and at some point we might book you. So like a lot of the times when you're first starting out, you pay your dues. I'm sure you've heard paying your dues before. And that includes like going to the ring, helping set up the ring, helping set up,
and
helping tear down, which I understand it. Like a lot of this business is like handshakes, and we're gonna pay each other by helping each other along.
Right, and you have to do. You do. To a
You
certain
really do.
degree, you have to choose to do that, though. You shouldn't be
You have
forced
to,
into that.
right? And I like the mentality when you're first starting out of like earning your spot.
Yeah.
Because if you're not going to work to help elevate other people, what's like, why should we elevate you?
Yeah, no, that doesn't make any sense.
So there are some promotions I go to 4, 5, 6 times, and they're like, yeah, we'll book you. Yeah, we'll book you. No, we don't want to book you against men, but we'll book you.
But that's so stupid. I feel like you're more fluid.
Well, and it's not just me. Like there are people that ride in my car, and it's like when we usually have a foursome that rides in our car, and it's like, you know, all 4 of us are going to be here. You know, you have guaranteed wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know, you have guaranteed bookings. So why wouldn't you use?
That doesn't make any sense. You could, like, it's a special, like a promo show or whatever. I'm not thinking of the right word, but like a bonus match. People love
pre-show match.
Yeah, that too. I was thinking like in the middle, like right after intermission, and like get people worked up again, because you work a crowd phenomenally
Thank
great,
you.
whether they know you or not. At least in my opinion.
It's all about how you establish. Like, the coolest thing I've done yet is build relationships with kids. I did not think coming into this that I would be able to bring young girls inspiration and joy.
I love it. I love watching it.
And a lot of times, like at other shows, the little girl will come up to me, she'll be like, can I get a picture? And so I pick her up, I put her on my shoulder, and one little girl is like, I want to be strong like you one day. And I said, you're strong already. It's just how you want to show your strength. And that's been, that's inspiring for me, because like growing up, I didn't have a lot of female inspiration. Like women's wrestling was garbage when I was growing up.
Definitely. How important is it for you and Heather to be holding the tag team titles in Metro Pro Wrestling?
Hugely important.
I was so happy. You have no idea.
It's one of... Heather and I were very emotional after we won that. Women have never held that title.
No,
those titles.
Really?
Not even one.
I mean, and that it's so stupid to me. Like, I know women's wrestling has draw because, well, women are pretty and men like to look at them. Like, I get that.
Yep.
But there's also a whole subset of fans like me who liked wrestling but didn't see themselves. It is really representation for across the board, and I love that I see so much of that now. And you're shooting yourself in your literal foot if you don't book
women.
Fair,
period.
A lot of
End of story.
Has been garbage.
I mean, I don't see any of it.
Turning around.
It is.
See, but yeah, I've only experienced good.
And she's dominating.
No, it's a lot of
A
good.
lot of women are really
You and
good
Heather are dope together, BTW.
Well, and were you at the last Metro show?
Yeah.
So now I have a title shot. Because I was able to pin Leela.
Yeah.
Now I have a title shot for whatever title I want. No woman.
That's dope.
No woman has held the Heritage. No woman has held the heavyweight title there. Excuse me, the Metropolitan title. No woman has held the TV title. So no matter what title I go for, that's going to be the first time a woman goes for that title.
That's so dope. Oh my God, I love that so much.
That's still a freaking...
it's an accomplishment, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it proves women are right there with the men.
So, do you have a hankering for one?
I mean, I would love to work with Jason. I would love to wrestle Jason. But that Heritage, it's been held by one person for a really long time. Yeah. And I feel like it was held by Lorenzo for like the last year, and now Tanner has it. And like, I think it's a really good title to defend with both men and women. Like, it's not a mid-card title by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a really good title to, like, think about the connotations that you have when it comes to like a heavyweight title. Like, realistically, I'll be in an uphill battle if I ever go for that title.
Okay.
But if you go for a title like the Heritage or the TV title, it's kind of like your X Division title in TNA. Like, you get women, you get men, you get smaller, you get bigger. Okay. It's a versatile title.
All right. No, that makes complete sense. They're like, yeah, mid. I mean,
it's not like, it's not a negative at all. It's just, it brings different types of,
there's levels to all of this.
It brings different type of people in. Yeah.
I think I believe that you could. I feel like you have like everything that is necessary to elevate to the even higher tiers. I really do. I'm surprised you're not already.
So I train currently 1 to 2 days a week at Can-Am Professional Wrestling School, which is run by Scott Demore, who's the president of TNA Impact Wrestling.
Oh, I know that. That's dope.
And like, I have a lot to work on. I have a ton to learn. I'm new in this business.
Yes, but you just, in the time that I've been watching you, you're getting better. Like,
yep. So I'm hoping for more opportunities. Nick Green also travels with me to Can-Am, and then Ace Evans goes to Exodus Pro, which is now affiliated with NWA, and that's a EC3 school.
Oh.
So the thing that I like most about our Freebird trio is we're constantly elevating each other, because we're learning from so many different people who have proven that they can be successful in this
And then
business.
You're just bringing it all together in a smorgasbord of wonderful. And you guys are really good together.
We have a lot of fun. It helps that we were friends before we even started this kind of like tag team Freebird group. We were at UCW, and we decided to start a group together, and we called it Straight Outta Saginaw, just because all of us are from Saginaw, and it just kind of morphed from there. Like, Ace and Nick get over so much here, like with tag rope and all that fun stuff, and then now with working at Shogun, it's been so much fun.
I loved you guys up there. I really did. As most of the wrestlers that I go the hardest for, I didn't really like you guys to begin with. I didn't know what I didn't know how I felt about any of it, so I just sat back and I watched. And y'all won me over. You
Yeah,
did.
people will steal your heart in different ways. There's a number of wrestlers that have stolen my heart based on pure talent. And then there are wrestlers that they captivate you with their emotion and how they can tell their story and help you relate.
That's you. That's you. Like, you're really real up there. It's very... I can tell it's not like staged or choreographed. Like, it's actual genuine, like, realness in the moment. And I appreciate
There
that.
is a lot of joy in what I'm doing, but the whole facet of being relentless, my whole life I've had to be relentless. I've always been a very strong-willed female. I chose a field. I went to college in a science-based field that was mostly male-dominated.
Wow. Wow, yeah.
And I mean, now
Also,
getting into wrestling, like, there were a lot of people from day one who were like, she just looks pretty, she can't go.
I heard that. I heard that a lot.
Yep.
Like, not like from people that I talk to, but like from around me.
Yep. There's a lot of, and there's this misconception that if you're pretty, you can't also wrestle.
Look at Trish Stratus.
Exactly.
But you can.
She is the.
And again, you're not, you're,
But yeah, it's a very rewarding experience, not to prove people wrong, but to
prove you
help
right.
educate, and like, I'm also building a platform for more women.
So why wrestling? Like, did
So
you watch it when you were a kid?
yeah, no, like, growing up, I didn't watch a ton of wrestling.
Okay.
Like, and to be honest, like, there were very few women that were very successful in wrestling. Like, the one that always comes to my mind as I was growing up was somebody who got, frankly, misused in WWE and then went to TNA and blew the doors off, and that's Gail Kim.
Okay.
She was
He
amazing.
knows, I do not know.
You know, you've got
I'll have
Awesome
to Google.
Kong, you've got Trish, you've got Lita, like, all
I
these
know that
women,
name.
and then Beth Phoenix, Glamazon, like, these were. Beth hit such a chord for me because growing up, I was always taller and bigger than a lot of the girls.
Okay.
I can see that.
And even now, you look at a lot of the women in the state of Michigan, they're tiny.
They are very tiny, and you're not like astronomically large. I feel like I'm taller than you.
You
I'm
are taller than
and
me.
I'm 5'11". I'm not that tall, but you are very tall for this field.
Right, and so it's like, to see women where strong is beautiful versus like growing up, I wanted to be tiny and petite because that's what I wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure in some way, like, you can relate to that.
Oh no, I totally can.
And it was like, oh, she's so cute and tiny, and I was like, that's just not me. And to be able to embrace that.
The fight against nature.
So I started really, like, training and doing, like, cardio weightlifting, like, 2017 to 2018.
Okay.
And I had hip surgery. I tore my labrum in my hip.
Ow.
And so I had surgery, and I came back and I did a half marathon, and I was like, you know what? Running's not where it's at for me. I'm like, I told myself I was going to do this half marathon. I did this half marathon. All right, we're good. Let's go back to cardio weightlifting. And then I had a friend who used to room with Rohit Raju.
Oh, yes, I know that name.
Yep. And he said, you know, you would probably be pretty good at wrestling. You're fairly athletic. Do you like wrestling? And I'm like, these women are amazing. I could do wrestling? Yeah, no. And they're like, just go check it out. Give it a try. All right. So I went to UCW in Saginaw, Michigan, and Rohit was the trainer there. And I just started training. And I said to a friend, I said, it's just like a 1 day a week for 3 hours. I just want to learn how to, like, wrestle. Okay.
I mean, fair.
And then 6 weeks later, I was debuting in a battle royal. And it just, like...
That escalated quickly.
I didn't even have gear yet. Because, like, it takes, like, 2 months to get gear made.
Does it really take that long?
Yeah. a good gear maker will take like,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Wow.
wow. And so, like I wore like a sports bra and leggings, like the first like 3-4 matches I had until I got my gear.
Hey, whatever works, right?
I didn't think I'd debut for 6-8 months. I didn't think I was doing that well. And
How long have you been?
so I have been training since February of 2022. But
You also been going to seminaries and what have you.
seminars.
Seminars.
Yep. I've been training since February. I blew my ACL in my debut. I was doing kicks and my knee buckled.
Oh,
I didn't.
wow.
It swelled up for maybe a week, but then it felt fine, and it would get intermittent periods of like instability in my knee. I wrestled on it for like until September.
Oh
so that
my
was March
God.
to September. So what is that? 6 months?
That's so
And
long.
it wasn't getting like, I'd be fine, and then I'd go to do something where it would be like instability in the knee, and then it would like feel horrible. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go get an MRI done. And the MRI came back, and the doctor said he'd never seen a knee that looked like mine before because there was so much scar tissue built up, and the ACL looked like it exploded.
Oh, you never want a doctor to say he's never seen something before.
And I was like, but I can do everything I need to do. Do I really need my ACL? And I was training or doing something, and I jumped down, and I felt the knee go backwards a little bit. And I was like, I need to schedule this surgery sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
November of 2022, November 30th, I had surgery. I debuted again on May 6th, 2023.
I remember seeing you. You had like a leg thingy on, right? I thought it was a gimmick.
Nope. So
I didn't
the first
know.
month, I was pretty much bedridden, and then I started going to PT, and recovery on that's like 6 to 9 months, and I managed, like, the knee healed well, and I managed 6 months later.
Wow.
I had a match for Cinco de Mayo, and then I debuted in June here against Keith Green.
Oh.
And from that
That's
point,
dope.
I've been able to wrestle. Yeah.
I'm so glad.
So
I'm
it's
so
like
glad.
I've been wrestling for 2 years, but I took 6 months off.
Yeah.
Not by choice.
Well, no, yeah, I don't think anybody ever wants to. I'm glad they were able to fix it and you were able to heal, because, yeah, and you just keep
You keep
better.
powering through. Like, for me, there wasn't really an option to quit. Like, I could have stopped
Why
wrestling.
though? I mean, couldn't you have?
If I hadn't powered through it, like, this was wrestling brings me so much joy and happiness. I feel so empowered when I'm in that ring. I can do anything I set my mind to.
Yeah. Oh, I totally. When you're in there, I'm always shocked if you don't win, because I am with you the whole way. I'm like, yeah, she's got this.
I mean, it's there's something like wrestling some of the guys has been a struggle just because they're heavy, man.
yeah.
You
Their
get
body mass.
You get used to a certain body type and what have you.
So you just have to realize, and honestly, training with guys like Ace and Nick is close to my size, so a lot of the things he does in the ring, we trade moves back and forth. Like, I do a sling blade like him, which is where I grab the neck and pull the person down and spin with it.
Yes, I like that.
That's one of his moves, and it's because we have similar body types. It makes it easy to say, hey, in this situation, if I'm wrestling a guy that's bigger than me, let's try something like this.
Yeah, like with Ace. I mean,
So then you
try
can't
something with
see-
him
And see, then we circle back around to the intergender matches, and why don't we have more of those?
I
I
think there's a preconceived notion that when a man beats a woman down, like, I'm not going to sit here and say men aren't stronger than women. Like, a lot of men are.
Just statistically, they are. Like,
But also, a lot of men don't want to sell for a woman. They'll sell for someone who's 5 foot, who's male. They don't want to sell for someone
that's
who's
asinine.
5'8",
That's what I'm
who's
saying.
female.
Like,
It is asinine.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
So,
it is the year of our Lord,
further we go
2023. 2023.
Yeah.
I posted a memory the other
further
day.
we go along, the less it's eroding.
Yeah.
I just think it's not on the surface anymore.
Well, there's ways to
It's
do it.
good,
I'm
yeah.
never going to be able to brutally overpower a man unless it's a guy who is 5'2".
yeah, no.
Right.
Exactly.
But it's not realistic.
Right. But what I will say is you find ways to be advantageous. You work a limb.
If the little tiny guys can win against the big giant behemoth throw,
and most people
a
want to
human-
accept that, but a lot of bookers don't want to book it that way.
Well, Rey Mysterio,
Yeah, exactly.
he's been fighting from underneath
Something
his whole
she'll
career.
understand. Look at the Sean Sparks versus Brutus Dillon match. That was a hell of a match, even though Sean Sparks is 5'1", Brutus Dillon's 6'7".
yes, it was a good
People
match.
accept that.
I
They don't
didn't
wanna
though. I
accept
thought
the 5'8"
it
woman
seemed cheesy to me.
Doing the same.
It seemed cheesy to me.
Obviously, but I mean, we'll eventually get
I'm only
there.
a mark in that I spend my money and nothing fools me.
Your money, huh?
But are you enjoying yourself?
Yes, I do.
We definitely do.
And I enjoy seeing the representation. Why do you think there's so many, like, it's like y'all are in a little cluster of the same little promotions? Is
Because those are the promotions that choose to empower women, and they realize women's wrestling is a draw. Like, I've seen promotions with only, we were worried about our draw tonight, and like,
really?
look how wonderful it was and how it turned out. Because one, you have the tools to market your stuff.
Yeah.
But women's wrestling is a draw.
It is, and most people
Real women's wrestling. Is a draw.
And that's
worried
the
about
thing. I didn't think I first liked women's wrestling because I was like, this is dumb. They're not even really doing anything. I don't want to watch this. Like, I like the physicality of it because I can't do that. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, all right, maybe it's not so bad. And then it just kept compiling. So I'm very happy about that. Because I don't think I would have liked wrestling.
Now, granted, she's only been in wrestling for 3 years, and it's mostly independent wrestling.
It's almost all independent wrestling. I watched a little bit of WWE.
Yeah.
I prefer independent, honestly.
I like the storytelling of traditional wrestling.
And from the other side, we like being able to talk to the performers and tell them what we appreciate and what we did really.
Like, I love independent wrestling in the sense of there's always a very homegrown feeling about it.
Yeah.
It always feels so real. Like,
if you go somewhere and you're not popping because you're supposed to be face, well, there's something wrong with you, definitely, for sure. Now, if you're drawing negative heat and you're supposed to be a heel, then you're doing your job well.
Now, you always?
That's a good gauge.
You're a face, right?
Yep, I'm a baby face.
I mean, I think you'd make a really good heel.
So Metro, when I'm with Alex,
you're heely. That's what I thought. Okay,
but the crowd
everybody
still
loves
cheers.
you. I always yell. I don't care if you're a face or a heel. If I love you, I'll scream.
And
that's definitely
first and foremost.
Sometimes it's hard to be the face when you're bigger than every other girl around.
Yeah.
Because realistically, it takes more to bring me down than it would.
Look at Beth Phoenix. She was a heel for most of her career. Why? Because she was larger. You took her
that
down.
seems silly, though.
It does. But it's all about how you connect. If you can successfully connect, people are going to want you.
You do. And again, it's the whole package for me. It's the connection with the fans. It's the connections with the fans. It's how good you are in the ring. It's how good you tell me a story. Like, make me like you, and you made me like you.
Thank you.
And I'm like your super fan. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for continuing to elevate women as a whole. And this was a really good.
Her and everyone else.
Oh, no, everyone else too, but I'm not talking to everyone else. I'm talking to her. I'll tell them when I talk to them.
I never, that's what I'm most grateful for and thankful for. I never knew what type of impact I could have on other people. And not just other people growing up, but maybe one of my good friends, Zach Gale, his mom was going through chemo treatment and she used to come to the shows.
Aww.
And she used to say, you were an inspiration to me. stuff like that. You know, there are women who are survivors of domestic abuse, sexual assault. If I can show them that it's okay to open your mouth and stand up and fight for what you believe in.
And you do.
I think it's definitely something I'm familiar with. So
Yeah, hard same.
If I can help people thrive and fight past the inequities in their lives, I've done something right.
I have to say, just your genuine kindness has done something right. You always you make a point of coming to me and saying hi, and that means a lot. So
Of course.
I'm way over emotional.
No, it's been a very emotional night, but it's about making this place better, and it's not just women empowerment. There's little boys that are empowered by it.
There was some boys sitting next to us, and let me tell you what, biggest fans in the world for you, man. They were the whole way, and I was loving every second of it.
I just want people to have fun. Like, I want them to look at this and say, you know what, we took 2 hours out of our night and we just sat back and we relaxed and we were entertained.
Yeah, you get lost. You get lost in all of the promotions that I have seen you at are top tier promotions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing. It's about surrounding yourself with the right people so that you succeed. And I try to be patient. I try to hold my tongue and wait to form an opinion. And if there's no value in what I'm doing for those people, if there's no value in our relationship, I'm at a stage in my life where I'm not going to maintain that relationship.
No, that's 100%. I'm with you on that.
So it's all about surrounding yourself and elevating yourself with the right types of energy and people. Hi.
You what?
Well, honey?
I wish it was true.
I love children so much. They're like my favorite people in the entire universe.
Little ones.
But no, I mean, oh Lord have mercy, that was so distracting.
No, you're good.
It's not good with concussion brain. What is the last thing you said? I'm so sorry.
I was just talking about empowering everybody and building the right kinds of relationships. If your energy doesn't resonate with mine,
there's the energy.
Yeah. And wrestling's full of great people, wrestling's full of not so great people, and it's all about surrounding yourself with the people that make you feel good and have your back.
I try. It's hard for me to tell who has my back sometimes. I'm not a very good, there's a lot of naivety going on there because I want to think the best of people. And I feel like people generally as a whole, and I mean in wrestling, but people take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
So,
and I would say the people that I ride with, Ace and Nick, those are the people that will always have my back.
Yeah.
Always.
I can see that.
Is it a Gazelle person? No, the Gazelle. And then there's a guy who's still training. His name is Austin. He's at New Edge Pro. He's going to be cleared, I think, in late January.
Oh, yes.
He rides with us quite a bit. So it's usually us four. So usually it's I am from the Midland area, but I trained in Saginaw, so I bill myself from Saginaw.
I mean, that's fair.
And then Nick is from Saginaw. Alex is from Bay City.
Which is Saginaw.
And Austin's from Standish. So
okay. So you guys just all, not today, obviously.
We all trained at UCW together too.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, that's so interesting to me.
Yeah, Nick started training about 5-6 years ago. Ace has been training, I want to say, for 13, 14 years. Gazelle has been training for 4 or 5 years, and Austin's like a year in.
Wow. Yep. Ace is great.
He's one of my
favorite.
favorite people.
Really hard for him.
I was having a hard time. We were able to do something with Electric Forest this year.
Yeah.
Yep, and we wrestled at Electric Forest, and Ace was one of the people that went with us. And before I had wrestled with Ace, I felt like I really hadn't found my place yet. Like I was doing things in matches, but I didn't feel like I was getting it. Like I didn't feel like I understood entirely.
When was Electric Forest?
June.
I feel like that's when okay, continue.
And
I'm sorry.
no, you're good. And then I started wrestling with Ace, and Ace just started bringing it together for me. He's like, quit thinking so much about it. Just enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy the effect you're having. And breathe a lot of that. And that's when SOS really took off. And from that point, like, I want to have good matches, and I want to have good results, and I want to have good chances. But if I'm not having fun in that ring, why am I doing what I'm doing?
I mean, yeah, that's hard on your body. For Christ's sake, you screwed your knee all up.
Yep.
So,
and every other day, you know, the day after you train, you're sore. Then you go weight lift. Then, yep.
So it's this never-ending pain. So I can't even imagine. Like, I'm in pain all the time, and then I'm like, yeah, I could be. It's fine. It could be a lot worse.
The worst is when we finish up at Can-Am and we have a 2-hour drive home, and then your body just like stiffens up in the car.
Oh, because you're not moving? Oh, yeah, mine does too, but probably not as bad as your guys's because I don't do physical activity anymore.
That's okay. So it's all about feeding yourself emotionally, physically, and mentally.
I did notice it. I think that's the difference that I first noticed is you're, I don't want to say more confident because you were confident before. You're more at ease with yourself.
Yep.
That's it. Ha ha ha.
At ease with my talent, at ease with what I can and can't do. Like there was a lot of doubt before, like, hey, can I actually do this? Am I good enough for this? Like,
well, you internalize that at some level, even if you're like all good.
Exactly. So,
and there's a lot of negative reinforcement going on constantly with women in this field of work.
I feel like if we can build not like a barrier, but like a protective circle to help and elevate these women. Because 3 years ago, Ashley, the co-owner of New Edge, she trained at House of Truth, and she was the only woman. Pretty much, like, there were women at Pure Pro, but like it wasn't like this.
No, it's a different.
And I met Ashley, and she immediately took me under her wing. And it's like since that point in time, we've just kind of been building the bricks. And it's like we have to protect what we found. And if we just compete with each other, like, there's a spot for all of us.
There is.
We all fulfill different roles. But if we're just in this business to get ourselves over, we're not going to help this business get better.
No, and that's the whole point. You want the business to get better because that only benefits you in the long run. I mean, not just you, but like the collective you.
And when I know for me personally, when I do something or I have a match or I think about a match and I watch it back, there's never like she's better than me. I need to get better because because she's better than me. It's, okay, how can I measure myself against the yardstick that I've given myself? Did I get 1% better today?
Like, because did I do this right?
The competition's with myself. Did I take the guidance that was given to me at training last week and apply it in my next match?
See, I like that a lot because, again, it's not always like that. They intentionally, unintentionally, I don't know. It's like
I think
women are forced to be
catty,
and I hate that. I've always hated it. I will literally just tell you to your face.
I've been friends more with guys my entire life. Because guys, there was no bullshit. There was no subversion. There was nothing. And so, like, getting along with guys was always a lot easier because I'd be like, yeah, I don't agree with this. And they'd be like, cool.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so nice. It's so nice.
Yep. And with this, I think that's why women who are like us can be so successful in this business. Because if you have that mentality, you can immediately get along with most of the guys.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, I don't like what you did. Cool, like, let's squash it. It's not going to be like underlying. Now,
No.
am I going to say stuff's not like high school? It can
Oh
be like
God,
high
yeah.
school.
I can only imagine. I've witnessed and yeah.
So,
But it is like high school, which I also hated so
Me too.
fucking much, so much. Just burn in a
yeah, I
hole.
was very like ugly duckling
You
until
shut your mouth. There is literally
I
no
really
way.
like. I mean, I was like a little gothic kid who was very loner. Like, I mean, I still am. Like, I'm still like that emo kid who
But it just, that's you. Like, this is you.
This
Like,
is
I don't
me.
even
Like,
think like this is an act or a put on.
This is me. Like, what you're seeing right now is
Also same.
I've gotten to the point in my life where I waste too much energy trying to please everybody, and the only person you're trying to please at the end of the day is you.
Yeah, I've gotten to that point too. Sometimes you have to please other people for various reasons, but it's very wearing and taxing on my soul and drains my energy.
Yeah, and what's the point if you're not fulfilled mentally and emotionally?
There's not much.
No.
It's kind of a listless life.
It really is, and it's lonely when you do everything for everyone else.
Yes, indeed. Wow, like you're speaking to my heart. It is. I had to learn how to say no.
I still struggle with that.
I tell people no is a complete sentence. I told my employees, my kids, I tell myself constantly, no is a complete sentence. Like, it's okay to say no. I don't have to apologize. I don't have to give a reason. But like, that's the whole wider issue with being a woman.
Well, and there's this whole mentality of like, if you're not if you don't appease people, if you don't say yes, if you don't smile, the whole smile more.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I get that
if
a lot.
you don't do that, you're not an easy woman to get along with. You're suddenly a difficulty. You're a problem. I can't tell you how many times I've been told within this business, I will go up to a promoter and I'll ask them, what do you need from me? How, like, what type of, how would you like me to have a match tonight? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, is there anything else I can do? Yeah, smile more, sweetheart.
I could not. See, I let my mouth overload my butt.
I bite my tongue, I'll give you one or two. And from that point, if there's still this complete disrespect, you call me sweetheart, you tell me I need to smile more, there's this immediate inequity, like, I'm going to go somewhere else.
I appreciate that because I know, and see, it's such a double-edged sword because the women who don't, I get why you don't. I get it. I've been.
Sometimes it's easier to go along
right,
to get along.
and it's not just in this business. It's just generally overall in life. And I get it. I've been there, done that. Sold the T-shirt to support the habit. Like,
yep.
But at the same time, it's so good that you do that because it's encouraging to me. It's like, yes, if she can do it, also same.
Yeah. And it's about no longer being okay with the inequities. There's a lot of shitty people in this world and they don't deserve to get a pass anymore.
I agree.
Men
I feel
and
like
women.
No, yes, I feel like if you are a shitty person, you should definitely be called out on your behavior. I will call myself out. Like, usually instantly I'll be like, oh wow, that was an asshole. I was kind of snappy to a cashier. I used to cashier for 2.5 years. I've managed a gas station. Never, it's the concussion. I'll blame it on that.
I mean,
but I was nasty and I apologized and she was like, it's okay. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. I was an asshole. Like,
and the number of people that I didn't realize, even just saying like hello, smiling and saying
it means
thank
so
you
much. It's so
to
nice.
anybody. I was in a store and I hugged one of my friends and the gentleman behind me was like, oh, you always got to hug a friend, right? You always got to do this. And I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, that's my wife. Before, every time she'd leave, I'd make sure I got a hug and a kiss. He goes, God rest her soul. She died 3 years ago from COVID. He's like, take those moments with the people you care about and get as much as you can. So like, it wasn't even the fact that like it was a platonic relationship and it was just like, hey, I'll see you later. Like, take the moments, take time in your day to be grateful, because like that hit me like a ton of bricks.
That's why I tell people like what I think, because I don't know if I'm gonna die tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna. Well, no.
Yeah, but
I
I know what
don't.
you're saying. Like, anything can happen.
Right. So you have to live your life fully, and I think you do. I think you do.
There's been a lot of challenges of not living a fully valid life for about 10 years or so. And I did what I thought I needed to do to make other people happy.
Yeah.
I caused hurt. I was hurt. And now it's not even making amends. It's living authentically.
You have to live a better life.
Because, like, I have a 7-year-old son. If I don't live a way that my son can be proud of when he looks back on it, what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my kids are way older. They're like 26 and 27. So.
Yeah, my son he'll be 8 in April. And he is, like, he couldn't be here tonight, but he is, like, I was on the fence about having kids for a minute. And I had my son, and it was just like, no, I get it. I get why we do the things we do. I get why we make the decisions we make.
Yeah.
And it's not, like, saying the word sacrifice is a bad word.
Yeah, because it's not a sacrifice.
I do it with all the love in my heart.
I mean, it is kind of a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice more in a, like, an actual, like, I'm giving this because I love this thing, like a worship kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not worship, that's a bad, but you get what I'm trying to, okay, good.
Yeah. And I will say, like, a lot of the time, like, it's a balance. Like, to be successful in this business, you have to lift, you have to train, you have to train for wrestling. Yeah. I also have my job. Like, it's balancing all of it. So it's like, I have friends that are, hey, just like go weightlift for 2 hours, then go train. Then, like, I can't make those decisions. I put my son first, and so it's like some days I don't get to weight training. I mean, training for wrestling will always be a priority. Okay. But at some point, something has to shift.
But you can't do all of the things all of the time. That's not how...
It's not realistic.
No, that's not how humans work. Or, right. Well, that's not how they should work.
Yeah. I have, at any given point in time, about 28 hours worth of stuff I need to do in a 24-hour day, and then I still need to sleep.
Yeah. Oh God, no, sleep is for the weak. I used to say that a lot. Yep. It's not, I'm weak. I need sleep. And you need to prioritize that kind of stuff. Does he come to wrestling ever?
He watches my shows, but at this point, because the shows are 2 hours away, it's a hard commitment for him. Like,
I wasn't even thinking about that.
So, like, today we left at like 2.
Oh wow.
And we're not going to get back till like...
Oh yeah, that's I'm sorry.
You're good. But no, if I were to just take him for the show, like, I could be here by 5, leave as soon as the show's over. But that's still like 5 hours. If we start running in Saginaw again at UCW and I'm booked, like, I'll bring him to a show.
That makes sense. Does he like wrestling? That's nice. You guys can do that.
Yeah, he always says, look, there's mama, and stuff like that. So that's really cool. Like, when I got the tag team title at Metro, I brought it to him, and he like immediately put it on, and I was like, my heart grew like 7 sizes.
I say that all the time. Like, my heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Yeah.
No, that's really good. See, you are. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You're so wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the kid for me that sent me over the edge.
I don't tell a lot of people about him just because it's not like it's a creepy world.
I will fuck some. I don't even fight. I couldn't fight my way out of a paper bag, especially right now after this stupid thing. I will punch somebody in the throat.
It's really disconcerting at times when fans will see, like, I'll put a picture up of my son, like something we've done together, And it'll be really like disconcerting if a fan messages me and is like, hey, did your son have a good birthday? And I'm like,
That's not okay. You don't do that. Like if you're talking in person and it comes up like it did, okay, fine. But otherwise, mind your goddamn business.
right, like I would never go up to an actor or an actress and
Never
ask them
would
how
I
their
ever.
child is. Like,
No.
so that's not something that I'm going to do.
No, it's creep. Like if you develop a relationship with somebody, fine, okay, cool. Or if they bring it up, okay,
Like
fine,
if you were to come
cool.
up to me and be like, hey, how's your kiddo doing? I'd be like, oh my God, he's good. Like we've been doing.
I don't even like to bother you guys to tell you how fucking fabulous you were in the match.
Thank you.
Because I don't want to go. I don't like.
Yeah.
You get enough. I feel like you know that I like you. I post.
Yeah.
And I scream, and I know everybody knows my voice at this point. If they don't, they're silly.
But you know, there's like, it's the fans and the relationships we build with the fans, because how would I have met you any other way?
I mean, that's true.
And then now you build a genuine relationship with somebody, and it's no longer like this is a fan for me. This is a genuine person who I'm building a friendship with, be it an acquaintance. But as time goes, like that's a genuine friendship. And I think about the people I've met in wrestling, and it's like I've built another family.
I feel like I've met. I have actual friends, not just people who tolerate me on a base level.
And I used to feel that way more. Like, honestly, just even acquaintances that I'd meet through, like, mutual friends and stuff, I'm like, this is horrible. But we're all here because we love wrestling.
I just feel like I don't fit in because I don't know wrestling like everyone else. Like, I love it, support the shit out of it, but I don't know it.
I think at some point you just have to pick and choose what you want to learn about. Like, if you want to learn about awesome, badass female wrestling, just look up some people you like. There's a lot of shitty stuff from a lot of years that you could probably just
I liked
skip right
like
past.
Sasha Banks and like that's the little bit of like that era. New Day.
Yep.
Love New Day. But that's a little bit of what I've watched. But beyond that, it looked like garbage.
Charlotte.
Yes.
is what
Oh my
did it for
God.
me.
Yes.
And it does bother me a lot that people come up to me and they'll go, "You're like Charlotte." But I don't want to be like somebody else.
But
like
you're
Charlotte's
not like
an amazing
Charlotte.
athlete.
Like just when you said that, I was like, okay, I could kind of see.
It's the blonde hair and the tall frame.
Yes.
And the fact that my finish is a spear. But like,
Oh, is her finish? Oh, see, I don't know.
yeah, her finish, like she does a spear and then she does the figure eight, which is like the build up off her dad's finish.
Okay.
But the point is, like, I get it. I just don't want to be like somebody else.
You're not. Look, it'll probably pick up on one of the matches, but I was like, Rory, I said she's going to be another Rae Larson. And I told her, I was like, shit, that was a shitty thing to say. But I like meant it in the best way possible.
She kicks ass. Like, the women we had in this tournament, I'm so proud to call them my colleagues. Because we have all busted our asses to represent.
I mean, you're still training. You don't have to train, do you? You could just like go once in a while and brush up on your business and go on
every week.
And you said you watch all your matches? Do you watch all of your matches?
I'll even go back and watch like my matches like 6 months down the road and be like, how have I gotten better?
Wow.
Or like a lot of times we'll watch older matches and I'll be like, oh, why don't I do that anymore? Like, that's a cool move.
Okay.
Things like that where it's like you pulled it out for a show, something you don't normally do, and then you're like, hey, maybe I should do this again.
Do you pay attention to like the crowd reactions when you're watching the video? Like, is that important?
Yes. Because there's a way to bring a crowd into a match and there's a way to just do a match. If I notice that, like, I can tell when there's crickets when I'm wrestling. I can tell when nobody gives two shits. And you're like, okay.
That's why I try to scream for the people I like, even if it's just me. I feel so stupid.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like it was crickets when my shoulder was getting worked. Like, it was crickets.
It was.
It's because I think it's because it was almost uncomfortable because like she was really grinding into my shoulder. Like she's a force to be reckoned with.
It seemed to me like people were more in shock And I noticed that it still affects the match the same way.
Yep.
So if something you notice it doesn't pop, that's the right one.
Yep.
I really am working hard on trying to learn the things.
Yeah.
Do you just never do it again? Do you try to do it better and then give up on it if that doesn't work?
Yeah,
Or...
you try to, like, if you can't connect with a crowd, there's something you're doing wrong. Maybe it's how you dress. Maybe it's how you talk to the crowd. Maybe the crowd can't relate to you.
Okay.
So fair enough. So then it's, well, how do you make yourself more likable? And even, what happens if you're you and the crowd doesn't like you? Is that a referendum on you as a human? Like, sometimes wrestling forces you to look at yourself in an ugly way.
That's the way I think about this. Like, if people aren't watching, is it me? Because it's definitely never the person I'm talking to. Is it
the
me?
questions I'm asking? Is it, yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't have any set, like, is it the way I'm doing it? Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I get it on not a level anywhere near yours.
But I mean, if people don't like you, is it because of what you are, how you present yourself?
I mean, yeah, I've had to come, because I'm an old lady, I had to come to the conclusion, like, people aren't going to like me. And you know what? That's okay. That sometimes I don't like me. Yeah. I get it. Like, totally.
Yeah. And like, I grew up and I realized, like, after high school, like, I'm one of those people you can't be 50-50 on. You either like me or you really fucking hate me.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. There's no, oh yeah, Prue, she's all right. It's like, man, Prue's a bitch. Or
yeah,
Prue is the best everything in the whole fucking universe.
Yep. It's like, oh, this bitch is so outspoken. Or it's like, well, she's really sweet, but
yeah. Yeah.
So I realized I'm not everybody's cup of tea. So it's finding the people that you can be cups together with.
Yeah, you have to find your tribe.
Yeah.
And I think in wrestling, that's even more important because your tribe protects you. I found that out.
I
didn't even know that was a thing. I've never had a tribe before.
The right people will watch your back in the ugliest of situations. Like, bad fans.
I've always done that, but it's so nice to be around other people who do that for each other and for me. Mm-hmm. Wow. But it's so different, and I love that because fans are fucking crazy.
They really are.
Oh,
they're the best people in the world, but sometimes they connect very, very hard.
I connect hard too, but I feel like I connect like on an actual, like, there's a real connection there because I talk and I make connections with people. When I feel a good energy, I try to gravitate towards it. And when there's a bad energy, I try to get away from it.
Yep.
So,
agree.
And I feel like there needs to be more of that.
There does. Yeah.
There really does.
Yeah. I mean, I think the more genuine you are, the more people you're going to attract to you. So if you're not genuine, I'm not surprised you're having issues connecting.
Well, and that's why I don't care if anybody doesn't like me, because the people who like me are going to like me. Mm-hmm. There's not any facade that I ever have to put on. I'm so lazy. I don't want to do that. So much work.
Yeah.
Like, does it look like I work? Indeed, I don't.
That's okay.
But I'm going to start going back to the gym because you're encouraging me. Like, you're giving me, like, because I was...
Just be 1% better than you were yesterday. You don't have to do crazy things. Go walk for 5 minutes and then maybe walk for 6 minutes.
I try to park farther away.
It's
so
little things.
It is little.
Like, you don't have to be dramatic about everything. As long as you do.
Yes, I do. I'm a Cancer. I have to be dramatic. No,
I'm a perfectionist. I'm a Virgo, so.
Oh. But no, you're right. And that's part of my problem is I always have to, it's like, I have to be really good at it or I'm just not going to do it.
Yep. That's the best advice that I can offer is just do a little bit every day. Make yourself better every single day. Because, like, there are days where I have really shitty workouts, but I'm like, no, I did 2 pounds more on this than I did last time. Like, find your
But you
little
also
victories.
did that workout when you probably could have just been like, no,
I'm gonna
good.
watch TV.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yep.
So that in itself is a victory, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for that. And I know you have to get home to your
It's
son. I
okay.
don't even know how long we've been talking. I'm so sorry. This is how I am
Thank
as a
you so
person.
much.
No, thank you. You are a joy.
Thank you. Oh my goodness gracious.
All right, we're all done. I'm done talking. I'm sorry. I run my mouth like a whip.